Phelps, of course, is the most decorated Olympian of all time.
If he was a country, he would have the third most swimming medals ever.
Where did this obsession of winning come from?
Hating to lose. I hate to lose more than I enjoy winning.
How did this come up?
One thing my coach took out of my vocabulary was the word can't, because it's going to be exponentially harder since you told yourself you can't.
28 medals.
The second youngest male swimmer to qualify for a U.S. Olympic team.
And what goes on in your head before even the race starts?
When I'm on the block, nothing. I'm like a dog trying to get out of the cage. Like I'm just...
Did you use any psychological warfare sort of tactic against your competitors?
I'm taking care of me and I'm focusing on what I need in that moment. I don't give a shit about my competitors in that moment. When I'm on the pool deck, it is a full-blown war. I want to absolutely destroy someone.
Was there anyone you secretly feared as a competitor?
No, I beat everybody. I don't care who you were. I'm the shark in the water. If I smell that smallest ounce of blood, I'm going to destroy you.
Watch me take it.
Tell me about that phase, which is your 2008 Beijing, where you won 8 gold medals.
History in Beijing for Michael Phelps. 8 for 8.
Like those 2 years, I felt unbeatable in the pool. I literally felt like there wasn't a single soul on the planet that could touch me, that could beat me.
Explaining an interview which you gave, the interviewer asked you that you've won 28 Olympic medals in your life, and you said, no, just 23 that count.
I medaled in 28 out of 30 of my races at the Olympic Games. 23 are only the ones that we need to talk about.
Silver is losing?
We were second. You lost. Third place. You lost. I don't talk about the other 5.
It's gonna be gold. It's gonna be a new world record.
Once I did make that Olympic team and I got 5th, I was pissed because I didn't want a piece of paper that somebody said, congratulations, you came and competed. I came because I wanted something around my neck. I'm there to hear my national anthem play. That's it.
Tell me the first time you won the gold medal.
I couldn't get caught up in that one moment, even though it was special. So that gold medal was like, all right, finished, what's next?
Walk me through 4 or 5 techniques or certain things that you would do in that 5-6 years of training where you were truly preparing to win gold.
We'd start in the morning with a training session, eat plates of food for breakfast, go home, take a nap, wake up, eat something else, go back to the pool, go home, eat, sleep, wake up and do it all over again.
Every day for 6 years.
6-year stretch where I didn't miss a single day. A lot of people say why, and I say why not. There wasn't a single person on this planet during those 20 years, pretty much of my career, that was more prepared than me. That's why I got the results that I got.
Five Olympic Games, 28 medals, 23 of them gold, 39 world records. If this man was a country, he would have been the 3rd highest country with the medals. There is no other human being, there is no other athlete in the world who has achieved this much in a single sport as much as this person has achieved. He's a beast, he's a maniac. He's achieved numbers that no human has ever touched. He's achieved numbers that might never be touched again. And for 6 years straight, this man trained every single day. No Sundays off, no holidays, no Christmas, nothing. No excuses. How did he build this beast wild mindset? While the world was moving, he was training like a maniac. He was obsessed, trying to be better, faster, just by 1 second, just by half a second. And today, on Figuring Out, we are sitting with this beast, the absolute GOAT. It's an honor to do the podcast with Michael Phelps. The greatest athlete, the greatest Olympian, the athlete which has never existed before and the world has never seen. And in this conversation, we're going to figure out what it actually takes to absolutely become the champion and to build a mindset of a beast so that you kill it every time you enter the arena. This podcast is like the masterclass of an athlete mindset. If you want to win this year, watch this till the end. You know, actually, before I even start this, how about for 0.01% people who have no clue who you are. Why don't you tell us, Michael, who are you?
I was a swimmer at one point in my life. Won a couple gold medals, broke a couple world records, competed in 5 Olympic Games. I'm a father of 4 now. I have 4 boys, 9, 7, 6, and almost 2. Yeah, and I think a lot of what I try to do now is really promote healthy and active lifestyles, whether that's water safety with my foundation, or it's really trying to open up the world to the importance of mental health. I think for me, going through what I went through, the tail end of my career, really helped me explore more about who I am. But also I think with me showing my vulnerability and opening up and talking about the struggles that I go through, I've been able to hear others or see others that have become vulnerable around me and shared what they go through. And for me, I think the second part is way bigger than the first part, because the second part, we're dealing with life and death. The first part was awesome. Like, don't get me wrong. It was incredible hearing my national anthem play and, winning a bunch of gold medals. But, the fact that life and death is also in play with so many people. I think I just read a stat. My wife just sent it to me yesterday. This is kind of crazy to me. Suicide's the second leading cause of death for people 10 to 34. So for me, that's why I say the second part is so much bigger. Just being able to save a life is 1,000 times better than winning an Olympic gold medal. And for me, just being able to have the platform that I have, to give me the chance to speak what I'm passionate about is really special.
Let's try to understand both the phases of your life.
Sure.
Part 1, part 2. But before we go there, I want to understand something about you when you were a child, like from the beginning. Tell me, what do I need to understand about you when you were 10 years old? You were unable to sit in a class. You saw your parents' relationship falling off. You were restless and not able to just cope up with everything which normal kids do.
Yeah.
What do I need to understand about that, Michael? Which helps me understand everything that came after.
Yeah. I think for me, going back even before 10, when I was 7 years old, I was, nonstop kind of bouncing off the wall. I was always around the pool. My 2 older sisters swam, so I was around the pool all the time. So water safety was something that was a big priority for my mother. And once I was in the water and I was safe there, I was just kind of playing around the pool all the time. So that's when I got into the water. And then the water was kind of a release for me. Being able to kind of swim as hard as you want, to go faster with, anger, if you might have it, was something that I enjoyed. It wasn't great dealing with anger as a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kid. But for me, it was an outlet. And it was something that, I ended up falling in love with. And, I remember in, middle school, I was told, by my teachers that I would never, by a teacher, that I would never amount to anything. And I still remember her name and I still remember what she looks like. I still remember where I was sitting in the class. And I think at that point for me, I used it as motivation. The fact that a teacher, number one, would say they're doubting a student and not knowing how to deal with them, I think is saddening. It's upsetting. But for me, I was like, watch this, I'm going to prove you. And I think at the time that was pretty much when I had stopped taking, Ritalin, which was for my ADHD. So my ADHD, I literally was like, I was all over the place. I was leaning back in the chair on the back legs, leaving dents on the floor in the classroom, always getting sent to the principal's office. And honestly, I just had a really hard time sitting still. And at that point, my mom was, I was playing baseball, I was playing lacrosse, I was playing soccer, and I was swimming. I was playing all these different sports just to try to get the energy out of me. My mom was just like, I don't know what to do with them. And it's crazy. Fast forward now to where I'm 40 and I have 4 kids. It's the same way. Their kids are nonstop. But I think, going back to that point, I think swimming really gave me something to focus on. I was that. Well, I still am that kind of ADD, kind of all over the place, jittery, like kind of always moving around. Like that's just who I am. That's my personality. So, I think over time I naturally took something that somebody labeled me with having or being a less than of a kid. I took that into almost really making it a superpower. Because it gave me the ability to focus on things that I was really passionate about.
But, so your teacher said she must have noticed, and the rest of the world just noticed how you were as a kid, who were restless, not able to sit anywhere. What do you think that teacher didn't get, or the world didn't get, about that kid who was not able to sit properly? Because you definitely had something in you, and I
just thought she didn't know how to, whether it's a lack of better way of saying it, like I don't think she wanted to deal with me, or knew how to deal with me, or knew how to handle me, or knew how to teach me, right? Like she just didn't know. And like for me, like my mother has been in education for 50 years. Like that's her passion. Her passion is being in the classroom to try to make an impact for a student, to try to help them take whatever they're learning in that year or that classroom and catapult it to help them into the rest of their life, to help transform them into what they want to be. And all of those steps need to happen. But when a teacher, instantly shuts down on a kid, it just doesn't look good for the teacher. But I mean, I think I got like a C in her class. So like, let's be honest. I was kind of like, just get me out of here. Like that was my least favorite class that I went to every single day.
Which class was it?
English. I hated English, and maybe it was how she was teaching it to me, because I had teachers that were great. Like I had teachers throughout my elementary, middle, and high school where they were awesome, and they helped me understand when I had problems learning what everybody else was learning faster than what I was learning. Or if I was learning things faster than everybody else, then he or she gave me stuff to help me stay focused, right? Like I think it's just, everybody has a different mind, and everybody is able to handle or control as much as they can. And she just didn't know what to do. It was sad. And I'm sure there still are teachers out there in the world that are like that. And it is unfortunate. It is sad. But to the kids out there who do have an experience like that, know that there are other outcomes that can happen in life. People doubted me in the swimming pool too. And honestly, like for me, again, it was a form of motivation. That was it. Like if somebody wants to doubt me, like I've been on this kick lately where I've just been firing off quotes on Instagram. Just like on my story, just ripping quotes off that just like hit me in the morning. And I'm a big quotes person. And like throughout my career, my coach would always put quotes on the top of the workout, motivating quotes, or just quotes that people need to hear, that for me, that I need to hear, for whatever you're going through life. So yeah, I can.
Which one's your favorite quote now?
I mean, my favorite quote is actions speak louder than words. Like that's one of my all-time favorite hands down quotes, because it's true. Like you can say whatever you want, but if your actions don't back up those words, then all it is just a bold-faced lie. So, for me, like throughout my career, like I wanted to, break this world record, win this gold medal, whatever it was. And I knew that there had to be a process on how to get there, right? Like I can't just say it and snap my fingers. There had to be, every single day, little baby things that were stacked on top of each other and little baby steps that were heading towards that goal. And if I was taking steps backwards, then I'm just cheating myself.
What do you think? You said water became your escape and you were just always in the pool, taking out your anger and everything. Like it became your coping mechanism in some sort and you were always in the pool. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What did water give you emotionally, which nothing else could?
I mean, my kids call me Aquaman now, so I guess it's kind of fitting. I don't know. I think thinking back to it and, kind of being able to dive through my career a little bit inside the pool, I was super sensitive to every little part of the water in my body, right? So like when I would swim, I'm feeling the water in the palm of my hands. Like that's where I'm feeling all the pressure. So if my shoulder, or my arm or my body is not a certain way, then I'm not able to feel that. So it's all trial and error and trying to get in the right position. And naturally, I think, for me, just being submerged in water, I just felt at home. I don't know, for lack of better terms, like, even like now, if I go into a big depression state or I'm just in a grouchy mood for a couple of days and workout hasn't helped and, my normal routine hasn't helped, whether it's the cold tub or the sauna, I'll just get, my wife will just kick me out of the house and say, go jump in the swimming pool. Because it's kind of like the only place where I don't have anybody talking to me. I don't have to think about stroke. I don't have to think about what I'm having for dinner or what I'm making for dinner or what I'm doing tomorrow or this or that. I'm just there in the moment, right? Like I can just be. And I can swim for 500, which is, minimal compared to what I used to swim. Or I could swim 2,000. It doesn't matter. Like just being able to be back in the water, being back into that environment, I think is kind of one of my reset switches that kind of just levels me out.
Do you think you were running away from something, or
No.
you were swimming away from something or swimming towards something?
I think I found swimming, as an outlet, but I think, the reason why I found swimming is my two older sisters swam as well. So, for me, kind of seeing what they were doing, and my middle sister, Whitney, was traveling all over the world and she was on world championship teams. I was like, wow, that seems pretty cool. Like she was trying to go to the Olympic Games and I was like, yeah, I want to go to the Olympic Games. Like, hell yeah. Like who doesn't want to go to the Olympic Games? And I just kind of followed and, naturally as a kid, if you learn that you get good or you start getting faster, you kind of think, how fast can I get? And that's kind of what I did, like from the start into the end of my career, I was kind of like, all right, how much faster can I get? Can I drop a second? Can I drop a half a second? Can I drop 2/10? Like, what is the maximum potential that I have inside of me and how can I challenge myself in different ways? Swimming for me, like, again, like I would scream underwater. You can't hear me. Like I would call my coach every single fucking name on the planet. Like, sorry for profanity, but like I literally would, like, because there were times where I was so frustrated and so angry and there was nothing else I could do, whether it was like my body was in pain, I mentally couldn't do it, or I felt like I couldn't do it. I would just scream. And then naturally I would still get through it and it would go well and blah, 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 blah. But it's like in that moment, like for me, screaming was one of those things I would just let everything out. And it's something that, like, we've taught our kids. Again, we have 4 boys and the emotions get high. So, we taught them this thing called a lion breath, where you take a deep breath and you roar like a lion and you scream as loud as you can. And again, the younger one doesn't scream that much, but like the 3 older ones, it's a lot of noise, but it's, again, like we find once they're able to do that, their shoulders drop a little bit and they're able to have that conversation of what big feelings, emotions they're going through inside instead of carrying them along through life.
Can you show me what is it? Like, what's a lion breath?
You don't want me to scream in here.
It's okay. You can just show like a little bit.
No, it's just
small version of it.
And you can scream as loud as you want, but it's literally just take a big deep breath in and just scream as loud as you possibly can. And naturally, when you do that, your shoulders do drop a little bit, right? You are able to kind of come back to earth, right? Be your normal self. Like I always joke, there was the Snicker bars commercial. It's always, they always show them here, but it's a commercial where it's like you take a bite of a Snickers and you just feel like your normal self. Like, I feel like that's what it is. Like what Snickers is saying, like when you have a sugar low, you eat some sugar and naturally you feel better. But here it's like, if you're stressed or you're frustrated and you take that deep breath, you're able to be like, okay. So why am I going through that? What feelings and emotions am I going through? And you're able just to get it all out. Like for me, it's, there are a bunch of different things that I do. I don't do lion breath that often, but when I'm in the pool, it's very easy to do it. But yeah, I mean, there's a checklist that I have for my own mental health.
So you used to scream inside the pool a lot. Oh.
Or like underwater.
Right?
Like when I was going and taking, like when I was doing my streamlines off the wall and I was kicking underwater, there were a lot of F-bombs that were said. Yeah, that was one of my favorite words, to scream underwater. And people could hear it. Honestly, like when you're in a set, like person next to me would be like, did you just scream? And you're like, I did. And they're like, all right, we have one more. And you're like, yep, we got one more repeat. Let's go. But it's kind of like in the moment, like I feel like I needed to do that just to get through. And everybody I think probably has something different, right? But that was just me. It was screaming underwater. It's same thing like when I'm in the weight room now, like I was just traveling overseas and I was lifting in, I think it was Mumbai. And I was in the weight room and I was like grunting. It was like, and like everybody in the gym like looked at me and I was like, oh shit. And I'm looking into a mirror and everybody's face is staring right at you. But it's just kind of something that I do. I mean, I used to do it right when I get up onto the block, right after I did my arm slap, it was something that I would always do, just clear my throat.
So is it, you were screaming a lot because you were obsessed with trying to win? Or was it
a lot of different things? It was probably, I wanted to win. I wanted to push through whatever I was going through, or I was emotionally just ready to snap, and screaming was something that would help me.
Where did this obsession of winning come from? Was it
hating to lose?
But
I hate to lose more than I enjoy winning.
Even when you were like 9, 10, 11? How did this come up?
I don't know. It was just something I always had. Like I always felt from when I was a little kid, like there was no second place. That wasn't an option. It's just something that I remember winning home run derby at 10 or 11 years old. Like I was the biggest kid playing lacrosse, playing long stick midi, just slashing people with the stick. Winning was everything. Yeah.
Do you think it has anything to do with not getting your father's approval when you were a kid? The absence of...
I don't think so. Because I would say a lot of it probably came from him. Because he was kind of more of the athlete from my parents' relationship. He was a baseball player, a football player, track and field stud. I think he was the first person to get cut from the Washington Redskins back in the day when they were the Redskins. So winning or trying to be the best was something that in sports was something that he was very good at. Like competition in sports, that was something that he excelled in. I would say my sister Whitney and I are uberly competitive, more competitive than my older sister Hillary, especially in sports. There's just, for us, again, there was no second place. For me, it ended up becoming preparation, right? Like preparation is everything. If you're not prepared, then you're going to get second, or you're going to get third, or you're going to get last, right? Because there's always somebody that is overly prepared or more prepared than you are, no matter what. So for me, I just became that person. There wasn't a planet. There wasn't a single person on this planet during those 20 years, pretty much of my career. You know, I had a couple losses that I can name through my Olympic career. But there wasn't another person on this planet that was more prepared than me. Not, period. There wasn't. That's why I got the results that I got. It's not rocket science. It's not. I put in the work, I got the results. That's it.
Let's go to your preparation time and like when you first started with your coach.
Yeah.
And first, when your coach spotted you, in the same year, he went to your mother and said that you're going to win an Olympics or you're going to be in the Olympics, right? What was that story? Tell me about it.
My coach came to North Baltimore Aquatic Club where I was swimming, where my sister swam. Long tradition of excellence with that club in Baltimore. You know, from 1984 until 2016, there was at least one person on every single Olympic team.
Wow.
So my coach came in 96, or right before 96, maybe 95.
Okay.
And he was helping my sister's group a little bit, my middle sister's group a little bit, prepare for Olympic trials and the Olympic Games in 96. And then the group kind of split and he took over a different group. I think I'm explaining this the right way. And then I remember seeing him while I was that kid playing at the pool. You know, I was only swimming like 3 days a week. Like I really wasn't training that much back then. And I would always play. And I would see him go up and down the pool, walk, run, arms up in the air, screaming, whistling. And I was like, I remember being like, you know, like if it was me back then, what I was thinking, I would be like, there's no fucking chance I'm swimming for that man. Like he is an absolute lunatic. Fast forward a year, I spent 20 plus years of my life with that man, and he is my only coach. But it's kind of crazy because, you know, seeing it, you know, I think at that age, I was like, man, like truly, like this guy's nuts. But what I learned, it was just the passion that he has and that he had back then, that he still has today.
But did he come to you or you went to him?
So I was excelling in the group that I was in, and I needed to be in a higher group. And I was 11 years old at this time, and the kids that were in that group were like 14, 15, 18 years old, like way older, way more mature. But I was faster than them. So I ended up swimming in that group and I got to that group but before I got there, my coach sat down with my parents and I, and he's like, well, look, like if, you know, your son wants to make the Olympic team in 4 years, he can make the Olympic team. As an 11-year-old, I was 11 years old, but he's like,
said that to you?
He said that to me. And he's like, but look, he's like, you got to stop playing baseball, lacrosse and soccer. But for me, like looking back now, like playing those 4 different sports, I think naturally gave me a better body awareness. Like the more I talk to the professional athletes from all sports, all walks of life now, that's the same thing they did. Playing multiple sports. Don't be super hyper focused on one sport. But at a certain time, there's then going to be a decision that you have to make. It's just naturally, I feel like that's how it is in sports. If you really want to be the best at one sport, you have to make a decision at some point, just because of the process of development, this, that, and the other. But back then, yeah, he sat down and said that, and I was like, all right, fine, like I'll stop playing these other sports. I'll focus on swimming, no problem. And I just remember back then, I was the Energizer Bunny. Like he basically would wind me up, and I would just go, or he would say jump, and I would say how high. Because he gave me that vision of wanting to go to the Olympic Games, to then make the dream of winning an Olympic gold medal even bigger. Because, you know, I just thought about going, and then I'm like, maybe I could win, right? Like that would be pretty cool.
When you were 11 and he said that to you for the first time, that you could go to Olympics in the next 4 years, did you believe it? Or did you act like someone who believed it until it actually became true?
I believed it because he showed confidence in me.
As an 11-year-old.
Something that he saw of me in the pool gave him confidence that he could do that. He had already trained and worked with previous Olympic coaches, Olympic athletes, and he saw something. And honestly, I think back to the question you asked earlier, he then became a father figure in my life, right? Because I literally spent 25 years traveling the world with him, right? So, basically my whole entire life was hand in hand with him. Everything we did swimming related was together. And I think once I did make that Olympic team, that really, really made me trust him, because I was like for me, because I know you said don't skip, but like when I made that Olympic team and I got 5th, I was pissed, but I was hungry, right? Because I didn't want a piece of paper that somebody said, congratulations, you came and competed. It's not why I came. I came because I wanted something around my neck. That's it. So I remember that day after my Olympic final in Sydney, the workout paper he wrote down, it said WR on the top of it. And for people who don't know, that means world record. And I was like, what's this? He goes, you're going to break a world record in 6 months. And I was like, okay, sure. Let's see what happens. Sure enough, 6 months later, I break a world record. So again, that's where the whole trust really, really opened up. But I think through, from the time I got with him to the time I was 15, he basically just broke my strokes completely apart. He started from scratch. I had some good things going on with my body and how I swam and the reach. Obviously I have super long arms, long wingspan, short legs, really strong legs, short but wide. My quads are huge. So for me, when I got to him at 11 years old, I still remember back in the day. So the people who don't understand swimming, a 6-beat kick is 3 kicks per 1 stroke. So it's 1, 2, 3 with your legs per 1 stroke. So he was teaching me the importance of a 6-beat kick. It wasn't at 11. I forget what age it was, but he said, every time you drop your legs in a practice and you don't do a 6-beat kick, I'm going to kick you out. And the first day I got through 500 of a 6,000 yard workout. Kicked me out. Next day, 2,000, kicked me out. Next day, 2,500, kicked me out. Next day, 3,000, kicked me out. Next day, 4,000, kicked me out. By the end of the week, I got to a full workout. And from that day forward, I never dropped my feet for a single stroke of freestyle for the rest of my career. Did I agree with what he was doing? No, it sucked getting kicked out. It was absolutely miserable sitting there watching my friends train and be in a practice. But I learned the importance of the small technical points that you have to have in order to be able to go wherever you want to go, right? It's almost like a college level class. You can't take the 1,000 level class without taking the 1 through 9, right? So there's a process through it all. And he taught me that process throughout my career. And we were able just to sharpen up those tools, right? That's really all it became. Because, throughout my career, we ended up just trying to shave off hundredths of a second. How do you shave off 5 100ths of a second? Is it a turn? Is it a kick? Is it a streamline? What is it? Is it dive angle? How do we do it? Right. So it's trial and error, but it all started from those years when we first started working together. Whether it was mindset, whether it was goal setting, whether it was preparation, routines, that's where stretching came into play, all that stuff to just get your body prepared. My warm-ups were the same at every single meet from the time that I was 13 or 14 to the time I retired. It didn't change. 8-6-4-2 or 6-4-4-2, every single warm-up.
Who was more ambitious, you or your coach?
You could probably say both of us at different stages of my career. Because I think leading up to 2008, I don't think there was anybody more ambitious than me. Post 04 or 08 to 2012, he was way more ambitious. He wanted, and I just wanted nothing to do with the sport. And then when I came back, I think we both wanted it. When I came back to finish in 16, we were both equally as hungry and wanting to finish, I guess, what we had started the right way. Because I mean, I've said this and I'll say it 1,000 times more, like there's not a coach on this planet that could have helped me, coached me to be able to do what I was able to do. Not a single person. I was an asshole. I was a little shithead to coach. I know it. And he'd say it too. And I'd say the same about him. But, you know, I think again, like it's the passion that we had and we learned a lot about each other through the process, right? It was, you know, he had to adapt. I had to adapt because I wasn't that 11-year-old kid that he once started working with when I was 30. Right. So just that change that we had to go through was important for us to have the relationship that we had for as long as we had.
Your coach also said people around you, everybody, not to say the word Olympic. When was that? What was that story?
I mean, my mom, when I made the Olympic team in 2000, she like fully decorated the front yard with like all these American flags and like this, that, and the other. And my coach's Bob goes, "This is the last time you're ever going to do this. Never again."
Why?
And I think because it's like, I mean, I think looking back at it now, I would say because the goal wasn't just to make the Olympic team. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to win an Olympic gold medal, not just be a part of the Olympic Games, but win the Olympic Games, be a champion at the Olympic Games. So I think once you get caught up in just making the Olympic team, then sometimes you might slip and not pay attention to the small details that are going to help you be your best self at the Olympic Games, right? Like, I mean, I see it with athletes that have been on Olympic teams with me, right? Like they have this dream of making an Olympic team. It's making, that's it. Just getting there. It's not actually doing my best time at the Olympic Games and potentially coming home with hardware. That was my goal from day one when I had my first Olympic race.
You gotta go.
Yes, but it's how do I get faster than my trials swim, right? For me, I wanted to drop. So in the US, we have Olympic trials and top 2 people in each individual event get to go. There's over 2,000 swimmers at that Olympic trials and a maximum of 52 people will be on an Olympic team. 52 out of 2,000 plus.
And those 2,000 will also come from like
all over
thousands.
the place. Yeah. So like, but like, you know, I think it's just like, God, I just lost a train of thought. What was I talking about?
You're talking about your Olympic.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I got it.
You always wanted to just win the medal.
So yeah, but like for me, like when I made my first Olympic team in 2000, it was about dropping a second from Olympic trials to the Olympic Games. Drop 1 second. If I can do that, then I'm in the realm of winning an Olympic medal, right? So I dropped 98 100ths of a second and I missed a medal by less than 3/10. And I had to wait another 4 years to have another chance.
How did you feel like you were 15 when you entered Olympics? Yeah. You were the youngest in the world to do that.
Youngest since 1932.
And then you end up coming 5th, 6th, 5th. How did you feel? First time, 15-year-old, youngest person, 5th.
Pissed. Upset. They gave me a piece of paper like you have in front of you that says, good job, you competed. You got 5th. I don't want to get 5th. I'm not there to get 5th. I'm not. I'm there to hear my national anthem play. That's it. I mean, obviously that was a stretch for me at that time. But I think having that opportunity of getting 5th and representing my country and being at the biggest stage at such a young age, I think just only prepared me naturally for what was going to come.
But you messed up in your first Olympics game, right? I think you forgot your paper.
Oh, yeah. I forgot my credential. Well, I didn't forget my credential. I took my roommate's credential. I was roommates with another one of the younger guys in the team. And we had our credentials just on like the handle of a door, and I just ended up grabbing his instead of mine. We looked nothing alike. So I ended up going to the pool, and they wouldn't let me in the pool. I didn't have my credential. I tried to go back to the village, and I couldn't get on the bus or get back in the village because I didn't have a photo of me on my credential. So that kind of delayed my warm up and my process of getting ready the slightest bit. And I mean, I don't think that threw me off. I mean, because still I didn't even tie my suit before the race. My strings of my suit were just tucked into like the top of my suit, which is, I mean, they're not going to fall off. The suits are so tight and so small. They are not going to fall off. No shot. But I mean, I just wasn't prepared. I think the biggest thing I learned from that moment is just understanding what needs to take place at the most pressured moment. Right. Like for me, yeah, I've gone to the Olympic trials, but I never experienced what an Olympic Games was, what a swim meet on different soil feels like. And especially in Australia, where swimming is the number one sport, right? I mean, the floor was shaking. I remember it vividly. The floor was shaking because there was an Australian in my heat next to me who ended up getting third. I mean, like literally, like it was vibrating. There was 18,000 people on one side, and then all the media and the dignitaries were on the left. And yeah, I mean, like everything just threw me off. Like
what was going on in your mind?
I was a deer in headlights, just scared, not really knowing what the hell to do. But I knew that I had to just get up on the block and race. And that was something that, still to this day, like I miss. Like I loved competing. I loved racing more than anything on the planet. A chance for me to get up versus the rest of the world, or versus my teammates, my competitors in the US, and have a chance to show who is the best. Yes, every single time. Because naturally, like I'll always go to that next level, because I don't like to lose. So yeah, getting fifth, it was terrible. It sucked. But again, like I truly believe, had I got a medal, 2004 might have been different, right? Like me falling short of a goal there probably gave me more motivation to rip into that next 4 years to make sure I don't have that feeling again. I don't have that sadness or that disappointment again. Yeah, it took me a lot to make the Olympic team, but still, like getting there again, you got to wait 4 years. I don't want to wait another 4 years. So again, like I want everything to be perfect when I have that chance. And I think having 2000, gave me the chance to do my trial run in 2004 to prepare for what was to come in 2008.
So when you came fifth with the paper, you came home. And now you're like,
I don't even know where that paper is.
Whatever that thing is, right?
Honestly, like it's just like a participation.
Yeah.
Like it's just like here, and I'm like, I don't want it.
And then you came home, and you're thinking like, 2004 is going to be my year. I'm going to come back home with gold medal. If I could place a camera in your head, what was going on in your head? Like first day when you just came back from.
Well, I knew it like back to that story of getting back into training the day after, that's something that naturally athletes don't do coming off an Olympic Games, right? Like you kind of take that 4 weeks, like 2 to 4, 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks, kind of just to recover, to get back into that cycle. To prepare for an Olympic Games. But for me, it was right back into it, because in the sport of swimming, when you miss one day, it takes you 2 days to get back to where you were. So if you miss 2 months, it's going to take you 4 months to get back to where you were. So for me, from 2000 into 2001, I didn't miss a step. Right. I was right back into training. I mean, I went back into training. I mean, I would say I probably did a 5K, over 5K. I think I did like 8 200s or 10 200s backstroke long course in lane 1 in the Sydney warm-up pool the day after the 200 fly in 2000. And on the top of the paper, it said WR in 6 months at nationals. And I went to nationals 6 months later, which were world championship trials. for that following summer in Japan. And the last 50, I came back on the existing world record holder at the time, Tom Malchow, and I ran him down with 10, 15 meters to go. And I broke the world record, 154.92. And that kind of catapulted me into that next summer. I won my first world championship at 16 and re-broke the world record. And then from that point forward, rebroke it in 2002, rebroke it in 2003, rebroke it in 2004 when I won the gold medal. It was just, did I? No, I didn't break it. I didn't break it in 2000. Not winning the gold medal, but I did break it in that year, in that calendar year. I just went on a tear. And I think kind of once I got that taste of success, like I was saying earlier, that was, for me, it was, what else can I do? How much faster can I go? And I think that's when we started expanding and swimming different events, right? Like I was swimming the 200 IM, I started swimming the 400 IM, the 100 fly, the 200 free, the 200 back. In 2008, I was the American record holder in the 100 freestyle. I just became super versatile, and that was something that we started back early when I was working with Bob, because we had a goal back then of trying to be top 10 in the world in every single stroke: butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle.
But you took 4 days off from 2000 to 2004.
Pretty much, yeah, because I had wisdom teeth. And I think maybe I wouldn't even say I got sick. Like I mean, even if I was sick, I was still in the water. I was still training.
Because you were so obsessed with training and you believe that even 1 day off is going to take you 2 days back.
Well,
why do you even take 4 days off then?
Well, I had to. I had to later in my career for certain surgeries. I had hand surgeries throughout my career. But I think at that point it was, if I'm not taking the opportunity that I have, then somebody else is going to take that opportunity away from me. And I want the opportunity to be mine. So for me, it was, I think it was all about control. What can you control? I can control not getting sick by taking care of my body. Right. So I think naturally over time, I learned how to take care of my body.
But did you feel guilty on the days when you were off? Did you feel bad? Like shit? Like
it sucks. Yeah. It sucked because I was missing an opportunity and a chance. But once you're going through surgery, if you have surgery, then it's kind of like you need to give your body some kind of recovery. I don't think it really hurt taking those days off. Because I think then after that, it was like, I went on a 6-year stretch where I didn't miss a single day. And a lot of people say why, and I say, why not? Right? There's no blueprint on how to win 8 gold medals. There's no blueprint on how to break 39 world records. There's no blueprint on how to win 23 Olympic gold medals. The only thing you can do is trial and error. And for me, yeah, I would say I became obsessed, but I think it's that fine line between obsession and passionate that I always flirted with. And I was overly passionate about trying to be the absolute best. For me, at such a young age, I had a goal of doing something that no one has ever done in the sport, and also changing the sport and taking it to a new level. So there wasn't going to be anybody that was going to stand in my way of doing that. I looked up to Michael Jordan and what he did, on the court or on the basketball court, and no matter what he was going through physically, mentally, personally, when he was out there performing, he left every single ounce on the basketball court. He had the flu, and the flu game still dropped 50, 40, 45. Yeah, right. There was just no excuses. Right. So, for me, every single day is an opportunity to get better. No matter how yesterday went. If you had a bad day yesterday, today is a different day, period. That's it. You can't live in the past and you can't live in the future. The only thing you can do is live in the present.
Walk me through 4 or 5 techniques or certain things that you would do in that 5-6 years of training where you were truly preparing to win gold. Before you actually go there, I'll tell you, one of the most watched Michael Phelps video is a clip by me, which is funny on the internet, because I was researching for this podcast, and I typed on YouTube the most watched Michael Phelps clip, and in that clip I'm explaining where in one interview he said that there was a phase in your life, probably 6-7 years, where somebody's asking you that what's the reason of your success? Why do you win? And you say, just train every day.
Yeah.
And they say,
it's the small things. Yeah. I mean,
and then you said, no, train every day.
Yeah.
No Christmas.
Yeah. I train
no
every
party,
day.
nothing, no flute, just train every day. And that clip is ruined really well for some reason.
But
so
it's
explain
true.
me what happened in those 6 years.
I mean, it basically really is, what can you control? What is in your control every single day? And it's like, you're eating, you're sleeping, you're drinking water, you're stretching if you're sore, you're lifting if you're trying to get stronger, you're working on your endurance and staying in your endurance level, working on heart rate if that's what you're trying to improve. There are so many different little small things that you can do depending on what your goals are. So for me, it's how can I be prepared every single day, right? So like if I go back to that point, after the 2000 Olympic Games, like it wasn't, it was probably 2002, 2003 where I started doing ice tubs, right? So it's recovery. How can I recover my body and my mind every single day to make sure that my body, if I'm treating it like a Ferrari and I want it to go that fast every single day, I have to recover. I have to treat my body with love, right? So if I'm not eating, if I'm not stretching, if I'm not drinking water, if I'm not sleeping, if I'm not staying off my feet, if I'm not all of these small things, then I don't have a chance to be my best during those 2 to 4 hours when I'm in the pool every single day. So it became literally a full-time job at the age of 15, 16, because I was professional at 15 or 16 years old. So I treated it like a job. Everything I did was eat, sleep, and swim. Sure, I was in school. Until I was in school through high school, and then I took 6 months of credits at Michigan and decided that I needed to focus on swimming, and that's what I did. But yeah, it
but
was.
your coach great.
But we'd start in the morning with a training session, and then I would go and eat a bunch of plates of food for breakfast just to recover from the 7,500 yard workout we just did. Go home, take a nap, wake up, eat something else, go back to the pool, train for 2 hours, go home, eat, sleep, wake up, and do it all over again. It literally, it became a job at such a young age.
Every day for 6 years.
Every day. Yeah.
So, but your coach also created adversities during the training. What was it like? Why would you train do it in the dark, do it without water, do it?
There were so many different things he tried to do just to mentally prepare us, I think, for things that we were going to go through or could potentially go through.
Tell me verse 3.
He would break my goggles or step on my goggles on purpose to teach me to make sure I had a backup pair. And naturally in 2008, my goggles fill up with water as soon as I dive in, and I had to revert back to a training habit that I did to help me count strokes to get through that race. And naturally I hit the wall at the right time, but I was able to win, and I was able to break the world record too. So, I think the things that he did, like breaking my goggles, or, I've had my suit rip, right? And, during that time, if you're getting ready for an Olympic final or a world championship final and your suit rips, your emotions are going to change, right? So I was able to then, because of what I went through, whether it's from the breaking the goggles or going 10 workouts a week where I'm going 10,000 meters every single session and going 100K, bang, 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 just every week. I think it just gets you relaxed in those super high pressured, tense moments when all of these lights are on and there's millions of people staring at you. Oh, and by the way, we're swimmers, so we're half naked, so it's but I think that's what it was. He was just, he was obsessed with being over prepared. yeah, it's probably a little psychotic in ways, but, looking back at it, I understand why he did what he did, why he challenged me mentally, when things were uncomfortable, right? Like, I remember having to swim without goggles. It sucks. Your eyes hurt, right? Like they burn after swimming for 2 hours without goggles. Trying to swim a race without goggles. No, it's not fun. But after doing that, like I learned. And naturally, like my cap rips at the Olympic final as I'm getting ready to get up on the block for the 4x200 free relay. I have to naturally calm myself. I asked for a teammate's cap, and I know that I can't represent his brand, and I know I can't represent his name. So I had to flip the cap inside out and just swim with the black cap. But in that moment, you're calm because you prepared for it, right? So like, I mean, even like visualization is something that we did my whole entire career. And it would be 3 different ways how you want, or you would play 3 different tapes, how you want the race to go, how you don't want the race to go, and what if, right? And how, and what if this happens in the race? How do you adapt? How do you adjust? Right? So it doesn't matter what happens. Whenever I get there, I'm prepared. If I lose, if my cap rips, my goggles break, if they fill up with water, it doesn't matter because my emotions will stay in check. And if you can handle your emotions in the most tense, pressured situations, then you're able to be the best version of you. Right. So like, going back to 2008, I think it was, for me, I think it was, lack of better terms. It was like, I was in the matrix, like literally time slowed down. Like, I was just like, all right, cool. Like I'm more prepared. Let's go. But it's preparation. And it's again, had I not done those 6 years, I probably don't get the exact results that I had. Like we always, this is something that I always hope that people can relate to. But when you're trying to accomplish a goal, obviously it's not going to happen like that. It's not going to happen overnight. There has to be like little short interim goals through that process to reach the big goal. So through that process, my coach and I would always say, coming to practice, that's a deposit into the bank, right? And 4 years from now, I hope our bank account is massive because when we go to the Olympic Games, I want to withdraw that whole entire account and just put it on the table and say, let's go. Right. So it's just a way of looking at preparation and what you're doing every single day. Because greatness is really, it's just a bunch of small things that are done well, stacked upon on top of each other. That's it. It's really not that hard.
But you said he was almost psychotic. What's the most psychotic thing he did?
Man, but him and I have gotten in so many different arguments and I mean, it's almost like we were like a married couple, just like fighting over like the smallest little things. Like it's crazy. I mean, I remember there was a time, I forget how old I was, but I mean, like I said, I was a little shithead and we were doing 400s free long course and I was supposed to be going like under 425 or around like 420. And, I wasn't, I was just going slower and just pissing him off on purpose. And he was like, you're going to go these times or we're going to start over. And I had like 10 or 15 seconds before the timer went off where we were about to do the next repeat. And I looked at the clock and I just didn't say anything. And right as I was getting ready to push off, I just said no. I went back under the water. And naturally, when I was training, I always had to bilateral breathe. I had to breathe on both sides. So he was on my left side. I'd have to go 3 right, 3 left. So I ended up switching it that day because I went 3 on my right and then I went to my left and saw him the first time. And I was like, fuck that. I ain't going back to that side. I just kept breathing to my right. I'll never forget. He came down to the other end, was chasing, throwing his arms up in the air, whistling like crazy. And he threw a bunch of kickboards and pull buoys down on top of me as I was pulling or as I was flip turning. And I just kept swimming. I just kept swimming. We had a talk shortly after that. And, we both expressed some frustration, but, again, I think it was just the passion that we both had, and I wouldn't change it because, I'm sure I did some things that pissed him off and frustrated him throughout our time together. And likewise, there were some things that he did that pissed me off. And if you asked me if I would change anything that I did or do it differently in any way, shape, or form, I wouldn't. Not at all. I think it's kind of allowed me to be the person who I am now and feel comfortable in my own skin. So, and I was able to learn a lot through, again, the craziness that we went through. I mean, I've thrown water bottles at him. Like it's been bad. Like I'm really sorry, Grandpa. Sorry I'm bringing this all out. People have seen videos of it though. Cause that was on a video. That was on a documentary that we did. No, it's just, it's the passion. And again, it's the frustration because, for us, we were trying to work in hundredths of a second, right? Like 2 of my Olympic medals were won combined by 5 100ths of a second, right? I won the 2400 fly by 4 100ths and the 2800 fly by 100th. Right place at the right time. Yeah, for sure. But it's also hitting the wall at the right place at the right time with the right amount of force and momentum and speed. But it's also being able to judge when to go all out and when not overswim a race and this, that, and the other. So again, it's like everything we did, it was a full blown chess match. And we were able to damn near perfect it. I broke 7 world records and won 8 gold medals. It should have been 8 for 8 in 08, but it was 8 for 7 in 08. So, but yeah, it was awesome. And I think again, like having the opportunities that I had later in life, whether it's 04, 12 or 16, I don't like talking about 12 because I hate that Olympics because I didn't swim very well. But it wouldn't have been possible without those things that I did back in the early 2000s. Right. Like, from 04 or 2000 to 04, and then that transition from 04 to 08 when we were at University of Michigan and we assembled the training group that we had there that was one of the most iconic training groups, in my opinion, that we've had. There was every single day, there was a handful of the guys that were just going at each other. And by saying at each other, it was just competition after competition after competition, every single stroke that you took during practice. And it was something that I just thrived from. I loved being in that kind of environment.
What I really love about you and your coach partnership, the more I read about it, I was telling you what I really love about you and your coach. You both kept each other on very high standards. There was an incident I was reading where he didn't show up because he was sick. And you texted him that, why would I have a coach if I have to coach myself?
So I said, I was ruthless. I was absolutely ruthless. I was such a jerk. But it was like any time that I had the chance to come back at him, I took it. And I was like, I remember that. I was like, why the hell am I swimming for somebody else? You're my coach. If you're not here, why the fuck am I here? I think I literally said that. Also to the point because I knew it would piss him off. There would be times where I would just say things on purpose to make him mad.
Why?
Just because it was fun and I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting under his skin. And I also knew that if I did ever want to get kicked out and I didn't like the practice, that I could make him pissed off and say something and he would toss me. So, there weren't many times like that, but yeah, I knew what to say, to get a reaction. And that's what I wanted. I wanted a reaction.
And one thing that you just mentioned and your coach, you guys did almost every day. There was the videotape technique, the visualization in your head.
Yeah.
Walk me through it. If somebody who's watching this right now, someone like me who wants to become an absolute champion in whatever they're doing, what is that visualization technique? What would you do? Sit down in your room every day.
I would just lay down. It would be like if I'm getting ready to go to practice, or, if I just have like 30 minutes to lay down on the couch or lay down on my bed and just visualize, it would just be.
So what are you thinking? Let's say just walk me around.
Yeah. So it would be like,
what's going on in your head right now?
Like in a perfect situation, like say I'm swimming the 200 butterfly. If I'm swimming the 200 butterfly, like what does a perfect race look like? A perfect race looks like a great start, good entry, 8 to 10 dolphin kicks, pop up right before 15 meters, take 16 to 17 strokes that first 50, hit the wall with speed and momentum on a full stroke, get out into open water, kind of make the rest of the competitors deal with my wake and my waves and make them fight through that. So it's harder for them and they have to use more energy. Hitting the wall, breaking a world record, how the race doesn't, or, like the perfect scenario, like no matter what it is, are you going in for a work pitch and you're trying to get your company or you're trying to get another company to sign your company? Yeah, then it's a home run. Like how like the perfect video is your vision of it going perfectly how you want it to, how you dream it to be. How you don't want it to go is you get touched out by 100th of a second because you screwed up a wall, or you misjudged a turn, or you didn't have the right start, or your preparation wasn't good, your warm-up wasn't good, right? Like all of those things. So it's trying to almost really make sure your ducks are in a line and every little small piece of that puzzle is fit into the right spot. And then how the race could go would be, what if I wake up and they don't, like all of a sudden they don't have the same food that I've been eating every other day? Or what if I wake up 20 minutes late? Or what if my suit rips? Or what if my cap rips? Or what if I get sick, right? All of these things are already played out. So once I get to the Olympics, or once I get to World Championships, if it does happen, I'm like, all right, cool. If I get sick, doc, what do I need to do? Right? Like we got a team doctor. Doctor, what do I need to do to make sure I can get out there to compete and be my best? All of those. Yeah. I mean, it's another form of preparation, because I feel like if you get into a situation that you're not prepared for or you haven't thought of, then you're not able to be your best self.
Yeah.
So I guess in a long way of saying it, it's controlling the controllables. Like controlling the controllables is something that a dear friend of mine, Greg Harden, taught me back in 2004. And it's really just such an easy quote and a powerful quote, because you can really relate it to so many things in life, right? Like, if I'm thirsty, right, you saw my water just explode because I was trying to break the ice. So I'm going to have a drink of water, right? Like if I'm tired, I'm going to go take a nap, or I'm going to go to bed earlier tonight than I did last night. It's literally that simple. What do you need to get ready for a meeting? X, Y, and Z. You have a list. Do those 3 things. If you don't do those 3 things, you're not fully prepared. You're going to go to that meeting and you're going to be like, oh shit, I wish I would have done that. Well, tough break, because you didn't, right? So, and if you don't learn from doing it that way to get ready for the next time, then what are you doing? Right. So it's different ways to look at preparation. And for me, again, like I became obsessed with it because I wanted to have the opportunity to be great. I didn't want anybody else to take that opportunity from me. I wanted to earn it. So I prepared and I worked harder than anybody else did, period.
But would you play every day in your head that you're winning
No.
the perfect race, the
No, that
failure?
was just, I mean, that's just
hiccups?
that's just for big meets. Like I'm just visualizing for big meets. I'm not doing it for every day. Like I'm not laying in bed tonight and being like, what's a perfect day tomorrow?
Not
What's
tomorrow,
a shitty
like-
day tomorrow. It's more just like 6 months before a race, before
Okay.
a big meet, like, just kind of getting ready into that mindset, because when that moment comes again, like, yeah, World Championships, you get a little bit more often than the Olympic Games, but the Olympic Games, you got to wait 4 years. You know how long 4 years is to just have a chance to go compete and represent your country at the Olympic stage? Like, it sucks. It's awful. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're not prepared, somebody else is, especially at that level, right? Because people do obsess, right? And winning a gold medal, it's what? To have the chance. Well, To win a gold medal, it's less than 1% of 1%.
So, but for 6 months, you would play the perfect, the hiccups, the failure every day in your head. So there was an incident where you won a gold, even when your goggles almost broke. Like there was water inside your goggles. You couldn't see, there was blackout, and you still won.
Yeah.
How many times did you play that in your head, or how many times did you practice with broken goggles before even you actually get that?
Well, I think, when my coach broke my goggles and I had to swim a race without having a pair of goggles, I think taught me to always have a backup pair. And when that happened, I was just like, oh shit, okay, I guess I got to figure out what I'm going to do. And I think for me at that time, I reverted back to what I did in training, because every single one of my 200s throughout my career, every one of my 200 butterflies throughout my career when I was competing, first, second, third, and fourth 50, all were the same strokes. 16, 17, 18, and then 19 or 20, depending on how many kicks I took off the last wall. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm just going to revert back to what I do, because in training, we do these things called stroke and time 50s. So if you're trying to go 30 seconds, then you take 20 strokes. 29, 19, 28, 18, 27, 17. So for me, naturally, I just started counting my strokes after the first, I guess right when I dove in, because I realized, I started counting my strokes as soon as I dove in, because I realized that they weren't going to stop leaking. And also I was unable to take my goggles off, because when I would swim, I would wear my goggles, one cap, two cap, another cap. So I couldn't rip all of it off and swim with no cap or goggles. It just wouldn't be good. So I ended up counting my strokes at the first wall at 16, second wall at 17, third wall at 18, fourth wall was 19 or 20. I don't remember. But ended up, winning a gold medal, breaking a world record. And you can go back and look at that video. I was honestly pissed after I saw the time.
Why?
I could have gone faster. I should have gone faster. I think I could have gone at least a half a second faster than that, for sure. 100%. Just because of the goggles. Yeah. I was firing on all cylinders going into the Olympic Games.
But why would you be pissed when you broke a world record? You won the gold.
I wanted to go faster. That's me. Like, honestly, I didn't hit the goal that I wanted, right? The goal is hitting a certain time.
It's not winning.
It's not winning a gold medal, because I know if I get to a certain time, I'm the only one that's thinking about doing it. I'm the only one that's doing stuff every single day to get there. So if I hit that time, the rest will take care of itself. Nobody else will win that gold medal if I do that time.
And what was going on in your head at that microsecond when you knew that goggles have? Did you go like, oh shit, what do I need to do?
There was nothing I could do at that point. I couldn't, that was out of my control. The only thing I could do was what was in my control, and that was try to win the race with what was at hand. I knew I was the most prepared person there. I just had to worry about my stroke. I had to worry about counting my strokes. That's all I did. 16, 17, 18, and then bang, 19, 20, ripped off, and I was like, 151.5. I should have been 150 point. Should have been 150 for sure. I thought, honestly, like I truly thought I could break 150 in the 200 butterfly at some point in my career. I only went 151. I think I could have gone a second and a half faster at some point in my career.
That's insane. Even after breaking a world record or winning gold, you would not be happy about it.
But it's the goals, right? Like, like for me, like I just held myself to such a high standard, and I put the most pressure on myself. Like, didn't matter what everybody else was saying or doing. The one person who put the most amount of pressure on me was me, because it is in my control, right? I'm not going to be able to skip 2 weeks, a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and just wake up one day and break a world record. You have to do the work. If you're not doing the work, then skip it. Do something else.
Tell me about that phase, which a lot of people call it the alien phase, which was your 2008 Beijing, where you won 8 gold medals. You competed in 8 races and you won all of them. There's never been an athlete in the world till now who has ever gone that far and have won so many medals. What was that phase like? That alien phase where everything you touch, you would turn it into gold.
I mean, yeah, during those games and like, I guess from like 07, 08, like those 2 years, like I truly felt unbeatable in the pool. I really did.
What did you feel like?
Unbeatable. Like I literally felt like there wasn't a single soul on the planet that could touch me, that could beat me. I just felt like I was super prepared. Everyone says it's like that 10,000 hour mark, right? Like I think 2007 was my 10,000 hour mark. And it just kept getting better. I mean, 2007, those world championships in Melbourne were, I mean, I might even say performance wise were better than what they were in Beijing. I mean, the times that I did, the amount that I was breaking world records by, I mean, they were body lengths behind me. Yeah, I mean, again, it's the preparation that I had done years prior that were showing. That's all it was. It's right. Like, if you go out and buy a piece of property and you want to build a house, you can't snap the fingers, right? You just got to put it up one brick at a time. And that's what I did, one day at a time leading up to that point. 2004 was, obviously a learning process for me. It was a great experience winning 6 gold medals. But I think it truly just prepared me for what was coming in 2008 to make sure that I was overly prepared, obsessively prepared for every small detail, because I knew how hard it was going to be to win 7, let alone 8.
What was different about that phase?
I mean, coming off of 2004, obviously, it was my first gold medal, right? So, 18, 19 years of dreaming of winning a gold medal, and it happens. You win a couple of them, you get off of that Olympic Games, and then literally every headline is Michael Phelps fails because he doesn't win 7 gold medals. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is a joke. Honestly though, to just have the chance to win 1 was incredible, but winning 6 in an Olympics and then winning 8 in the next Olympics. I was just prepared, I mean, even going back to like the quote that Ian Thorpe said going into 2008, he said, "No one will ever win 8 gold medals in an Olympic Games." Like that for me is motivation, right? Like everything I did during that time, truly was about trying to be as perfect as I could. And perfect was going 8 for 8. But again, like I was competing against somebody who is pretty much fresh every single time, right? Like people go to the Olympics and they might swim 1 or 2 races.
Exactly.
Right. And I'm swimming a total of 17 races, 18 races in 8 days.
Yeah, that was like insane, right? That's
a training week.
Fascinating.
Like it's a full training week. Like during that week with all of the warm-ups, warm downs. So that's 2,000 meters for warm up, 2,500 meters for warm up, 2,000 meters for warm down, is doing it twice a day, plus all the racing. I mean, I was swimming like 60,000 meters during a competition week. There are people that don't even train 60,000, 65,000 yards or meters a week, period. So again, like everything I did from 2000 to the first step I got with Bob, from him destroying my strokes and recreating them into what they were throughout my whole entire career, got me to that point.
So you started competing on 10th August and then 10, 11, 12, 13. There was only like one day. I think 15th August was off.
I had a morning off.
Yeah.
I had a morning or an afternoon, because the finals were in the morning for that Olympics. Where typically they're in the afternoon or nighttime. I typically had one session off every major competition. And by that point I needed it.
Yeah.
I was so tired by the end of those meets, man.
Did you sleep the whole day, like on 15th when you got an off between those events?
No, like during an off day, I would wake up normal time. I would stay on that schedule, that routine. I would wake up and I would have like a morning, like a splash. And I literally would do 800 to 1,000, like not much. I was supposed to do more, but I never did. And I would just go and just kind of feel how I was feeling, see if I needed to get a little massage or whatever I needed to stretch or something before the finals. Go have lunch, watch a movie, play some games. I don't know. Like we were always playing spades or Risk, Hearts, some kind of game to kill time. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty normal day. I wouldn't think about much. And by the time the afternoon came, we always have a team meeting before we would go over to the final session. And, you know, from the team meeting, it was headphones go on. No one talks to me, or I don't talk to anybody. They might talk to me, but I ignore absolutely every noise. Get to the pool about 2 hours before my race, stretch for about half hour, dive in the warm-up pool 90 minutes before my race, and then do my warm-up, get out, dry off, put warm clothes on 30 minutes before my race, get my racing suit on, jump back in the pool for 300 to 500, just kind of stroke play, kind of feel my body, make sure everything's going, get out, walk up for the race 15, 20 minutes beforehand, and then bang, that's it. You get either, I mean, my races were anywhere from 47 seconds to 4 minutes and 3 seconds. That's it.
Did you ever feel like taking an off in that alien phase?
Taking it off?
Yeah. Like an off day of training, or maybe just you didn't feel like today is not the day. I'm sure there must have been at least one day where you must be. I
mean, yeah, but I think the goals that I had were too big. They were big enough where I couldn't take a day off. I couldn't.
What did you tell yourself on the day when you were feeling sick and you didn't want to get out of bed?
I mean, for me, like when I would get out of bed, the first things I see are my goal sheets. Like literally first thing I wake up, they're on my desk, they're on my bedside table, because for me, I want to know why I'm waking up. What is the purpose of that day? Yeah, I might feel like shit, but if I can get 10%, if I can get 20%, if I can get 50% out of that day, then isn't that better than getting zero?
Yeah.
You know, like as long as you're not taking a step backwards, because if you are, try to flip that car around and go a different direction, right? Try something different. Because taking steps back it crushes you, absolutely crushes you.
So what does a goal sheet of a world champion looks like? I
mean, for me, all of my times were broken down into 50s, right? So like if I'm swimming 100, it's broken down the first 50 and the second 50. And then it has my total time. They're down to the 100th of a second.
Every day you would have this?
Well, so I would have short-term goals and long-term goals. Long-term goals are, what times do I want to swim at the Olympic Games or World Championships? And then the short-term goals are, what times do I need to hit this season in order to give me a chance at the end of the season to rip 154 in the 200 IM or 155 in the 200 IM back there. And then, yeah, it's just, I mean, and then I basically, I would write down basically 100, 200 free. He would always make me do the mile at least once a year. I fucking hated the mile. 100, 200 back, 100, 200 fly, 200, 400 IM. Because I would swim all of those races throughout the year. And I'd sometimes swim a breaststroke race too. But yeah, I mean, like, I think for me, you know, for the 400 IM, I knew that my strokes had to be at a certain level in order to do the times that I needed to do in the 400 IM, right? To be able to add those times together to make the right splits. And it all came what I was doing. It all came from what I was doing every single day. Right. Like if I'm going in for a practice, my coach, like Bob, would show me the practice and be like, this is what we're doing today. We're doing 10 400 back or 10 200 back short course. And the last one, I want you to try to go 140. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go 140. And I would start and just descend my way down to that time. And he would give me goals every single day of what to hit in practice, because those goals then were hand in hand with what I was trying to do long-term. Right. And if I did that every single day, and I did, whether it was freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, it didn't matter. I was doing those times back to back to back to back to back to back to back every single week. Why? Because nobody else was. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I was doing different things over and over again, expecting different results. I knew I was going to get them, because again, there wasn't another person on the planet that was more prepared for me in those 2 decades of my career on this planet. There just wasn't. That's why I was able to have the success that I did.
Was it all about competing yourself, the old version of you, or was it about competing with other people who would come as your competition in the Olympics game?
I was competing.
Like, were you competing against yourself or others?
No, I was competing against a clock. That's it. Against a clock. That's how my time, or that's how my sport was defined, by a time. How fast can you go? And again, like I was saying, if the times that I dreamt of and I believed that I could go were faster than the world record or faster than what other people believed, if I did those times, guess what would happen? I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, it became a numbers game.
But it said that you knew your competition better than they knew themselves.
For sure. 100%.
Why would you say that? You would study on them?
I mean, I knew how they would swim their races. It's easy, right? Like I feel like...
Like, would you study your competitors, the way they would do, style? What would you study about them?
Well, I mean, like I learned things from them, right? Like I would go back and, if you talk about Ian Thorpe, like I would learn from his freestyle and how he swam and his kick and his underwaters and, just how his body moved in the water. I took a lot of core exercises from different countries that I would see on the pool deck. Just because, like, if they're doing it, then I can do it and I can beef it up. Like I can alter the exercise and change it and make a hybrid. But like Lochte, like, I swam against Lochte for 10 or 15 years. Right. So, I felt like I knew him almost better than he knew himself, just because of the history that we had. And of course, yeah, like I watch a lot of tapes. I don't have any connection to the sport anymore now. There are a couple international people that I talk to, a couple international athletes that I talk to, but I have zero connection with anything to do with the sport of swimming anymore. But yeah, it was just, I don't know.
Studying them.
Yeah. You just, because it's like, you yourself can only do so much, right? So it's like, if you can't learn from others or others that have come before you, then you're just never going to grow. And again, like it was always back to that goal of wanting to change the sport and take the sport to a different level. And
talking about Ian Thorpe, he also said it's very highly unlikely that you will win 8 golds.
Yeah,
and you taped that quote on your locker room. Why would you do that?
It was in the back of my locker in Michigan in 2008. Because it's kind of like the same story back to my teacher, right? Like my teacher telling me I'd never amount to anything and proving her wrong. And if a fellow competitor and a friend of mine is telling, if a friend of mine and a competitor of mine is telling reporters that it's not possible to win 8 gold medals, guess what? I'll have the last laugh. Like Thorpe is a great friend of mine, always has been. But even like after that, and then after 2016 in Rio, because he said no one over the age of 30 will win an Olympic gold medal. He sent me a text, right after, and I was giving him shit for it. And he was like, dude, he's like, I know how your mind works. I was just giving you a little extra motivation. But no, I always like proving people wrong, especially if they doubt something that I think is possible. I think one thing my coach took out of my vocabulary was the word can't. Because if you say you can't do something, you can't. Your mind has already made it up for you. Like you made that choice, right? Don't do it. Don't think about it anymore. Don't think about whatever that was. Move on from it. Because it's going to be exponentially harder since you told yourself you can't, right? So it's such a negative word. So we removed it from my vocabulary. And for me, I just believe that whatever I did, whatever I dreamt of, let me take a step back. Whatever I dreamt of was possible based off of the actions that I did, right? It's back to that quote, actions speak louder than words, right? What you do every single day, how you show up, when you show up, it matters. And it's going to matter at the most important time, right? So, that's it.
Would you ever imagine yourself losing a race? Would you ever visualize
yeah, for
that?
sure. Yeah, why not?
What if I lost?
Yeah, because I never want it to happen. So of course. Yeah.
Do you do that?
Yeah.
And
what if I get second by 100th of a second instead of winning by 100th of a second? Yeah, I'd be fucking pissed. But the only way I can change that is controlling what I do every day. So maybe I have to prepare better, right?
And was there any?
Well, I think to better answer that, like, I remember my losses more than I remember my victories, because the feeling of defeat, I never wanted to have again, right? Because it feels like shit when you lose. It feels like shit when you fail. It doesn't feel fun, right? So for me, I looked at it as if I failed, it was my fault because I didn't prepare. I didn't take the time to focus on the small details that are going to help me down the road. So those defeats motivate me even more to never have that happen again.
What's about losing that you hate so much?
I just don't like the feeling of somebody being better than me. No, honestly, I think that's what it is. Like, I think it's like you ask the greats or the GOATs of all sports or probably all walks of life. And I think they'll say they hate losing more than they enjoy winning. It's just the feeling of defeat. Like I don't like it. It's just something I don't enjoy. And if there's something in my control, in my power to make sure that I have a chance at least to succeed, then that's what I'm going to do. And if I fail and I fail because that person is more prepared than me, then so be it. But I'm not going to show up unprepared, right? Like it's not who I am.
Did you use any psychological warfare sort of tactic against your competitors, which you secretly would use?
No.
And not share it with anyone?
No. I mean, I would say some people probably think me doing my back slap and clearing my throat on the block was a form of trying to get in their head, intimidation. That wasn't. The clearing of the throat, I don't know when that came in. I feel like it was maybe post 2008. But my arm slaps, I've been doing those since I was 8 years old, 7 years old. I've done that my whole life, so it's just a part of what I needed to do in order to get as prepared as I can be. And if what I'm doing is messing up them, it's not my problem. It's not my fault. Right? Like, but I'm taking care of me. I'm taking care of me and I'm focusing on what I need in that moment. I don't give a shit about my competitors in that moment. I could care. Why? Why would I care about them? Right? Like, I'm trying to beat them. I don't care what they're doing. I don't care anything about them. When I'm on the pool deck, it is a full-blown war. I want to absolutely destroy somebody.
Was there anyone you secretly feared as a competitor?
Feared?
Yeah.
No. I beat everybody.
Even in your head, you would not be like, maybe this new guy or somebody's better than me or someone's going to beat me.
If I was prepared, why would it matter?
You didn't care.
I didn't care. I didn't care who you were. If I smelled blood in the water, I'm going to destroy you. I was like a shark. Yeah.
Tell me the first time you won the gold medal at the Olympics. How did you feel?
04?
First time ever in 2004. Because that's what you wanted, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, going back to 2004, 400 IM, I was in the center of the pool, went 408.2, 408.26, maybe somewhere in there. And I remember turning back around and seeing that I had broken the world record, won the gold medal, first gold medal. We were an outdoor pool in Athens, Greece, where the Olympics had started. I remember looking up and just looking for my mom, my sisters. I caught them, and then I was on the award podium, hearing the national anthem play. The U.S. went 1-2 in that race. Eric Vent got second from lane 1 or 8. I forget which one it was. And he came jumping across the lane line, and we hugged and celebrated. It was fucking awesome. Like, that kid is one of my favorite humans on the planet. I love training with him. And then once we got our medals, that was day 1 of the meet. I had the 200 free, I think, the next day, or a relay the next day or something. And I remember sharing it with my mom through a chain linked fence. I passed it through her, through the fence, and we just talked about it, and we shared the moment for, I think it was a total of like 30 seconds. And I was like, Mom, I did it. And that was it. And from that point, I heard my coach whistle. Bob whistled. He had a couple different whistles that meant a couple different things. And he whistled like the one trying to get my attention. And I turned around, and he just pointed at the warm down pool. And he was like, let's go. You got to warm down. Because I hadn't warmed down from the race yet. So I needed to clear my lactic acid to get ready for the next day and my next race. So I think that was the first time for me where I learned that I couldn't get caught up in that one moment, even though it was special. Right? Like, yeah, I just won my first gold medal, but I had 5 or 6 other races that I had to get ready for. So that gold medal is like, all right, finished. What's next? On to the next race. Like, it's crazy. Like, throughout my career, I don't know, like, in the actual moment, with a gold medal around my neck, like, I don't think I really enjoyed it or like lived it as much as I did in 2016, because I knew it was my last one, period. Like, I knew I wasn't coming back. And, that's why I kind of like the tears started coming out during the national anthem when I was in the podium, just because of, going back and thinking through every little moment throughout my career. But, in 2004 and 2008 and 2012, I couldn't use those emotions up in that way because I had so much other stuff going on that week. So it really was trying to manage those physical and emotional, or that physical and emotional energy throughout, an 8 to 10 day program. So yeah, you really I couldn't, enjoy those moments as much as probably people would have thought. But I think for me, after retiring, I've been able to kind of go back and put myself back in those spots. And it's been really cool, just being able to look at each medal and, tell you exactly what was going on in my head, or, who I was swimming against, who I touched out, this, that, or the other. Just trying to break it all down, right? Because I think that at times there's still that thought, you're like, was that a dream or did that really happen? Right. So you still got to pinch yourself every now and then.
But winning the gold medal, getting it in your hand, you're standing at the podium, and you're not thinking about that feeling of winning. You're just thinking about, okay, what's tomorrow, next race.
Yep. I could not do it. I couldn't. Because I couldn't, I had to make sure that, like, in that moment, I had to make sure that I was getting the right recovery, right? Like, if I was finished for the night and I had warmed down already, then I'm like, all right, am I getting back on the massage table and then right into the cold tub to then go back and eat? Am I eating first? What am I doing? Is there food here? Do I have to eat a power bar or something like that now, or Carnation Instant Breakfast just to give me some energy before I get back to the village? It was one thing in front of another. I mean, like even in 2012, right? Like 2012, I swam the 400 IM, which I still probably shouldn't have swam it. But whatever, it was a learning experience and I did it, where I got fourth and missed the podium. And that was the very, very first day of the Olympics. Right. So at that point it's like, all right, well, that didn't go as planned. So now how do you redirect yourself and your energy to make sure that doesn't affect the rest of the meet? So I was like, I just threw it out. Just forgot about it. Next day I came back and had an unbelievable split on the relay. And then kind of built to momentum back from there. But yeah, it's, really living in the moment. And I think it's, I still haven't mastered it, but, I think throughout my career, it was something that I was really good at. I think there's a book that I have probably read a dozen times, The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle. Like, it's incredible. Like, there's something really to living in the moment. And I think it's something we can all learn from. Like, I mean, you guys have heard me talk about having 4 kids, and those 4 kids do it perfectly. They live in the moment every single waking moment of their life right now. And I think there's just a lot of power to that. It's something that I try to do at every moment of my life. It is hard, this complicated world that we live in, but I think if that's one thing that you can try to do, it's living in the now. I think it truly allows you to be the best version of you.
What about the time when you won all 8 gold medals? Yeah. After that, there was nothing to look forward to, at least during that time. Did you not enjoy that as well?
There wasn't. There was nothing to look forward to, because at that point, I had just done something that no one else had ever done, that I had literally set my life to try to do.
So did you enjoy that feeling a lot?
Yeah, it was awesome. But I was just like, all right, cool. Like, I just need space from the sport. And that's when I kind of like stiff armed the sport a little bit and just wanted to be me. I wanted to be a kid. And I learned a lot about myself that way too. Put myself in a couple of different situations throughout my life. But it was, I mean, but I think like if I can understand a little bit of what you're asking, like for me, like the sacrifices that I gave up throughout my career allowed me to have the opportunity that I had in the swimming pool. And I don't regret giving those things up. Like for me throughout my career, would it have been cool to go and like party with your friends or go on a road trip for the weekend? Yeah, sure. But isn't it really cool winning 23 Olympic gold medals too? So like for me, like it was almost like I have this opportunity to do something really special, and I'm going to have that same opportunity to do whatever they're doing right now in 15 years. Right. So it's just like kind of lock in and just go.
You know what's funny? Because you just said 23 gold medals. I was listening to one of somebody was explaining an interview which you gave, and the interviewer asked you that you have won 28 Olympic medals in your life.
No, yeah, 23.
And you said, no, just 23, that counts.
Yeah. I don't even know how many silver and bronze I have.
So anything which is not gold doesn't count in your life?
I mean, it's like I said, it's like, yeah, I don't like to lose. So
silver is losing?
You're second, right? You got second place. You lost. Third place. You lost. Yeah, it's losing. I don't talk about the other 5. I went 28 for 30. Here's a better way of saying it. I medaled in 28 out of 30 of my races at the Olympic Games. 23 are only the ones that we need to talk about. Because again, like I was unprepared in the other ones. Somebody else was more prepared than me. So
in 2012, when the bad phase started, and you won 4 gold medals in the Olympics, and you were sad about it. Yeah,
it sucked. But at that point, like, I think I was sad because I just wanted to be done with the sport. You know, like
Why?
I think at that point I was just over it. I wanted space. I wanted to be a kid. I wanted to just grow up a little bit and not just literally all be about swimming. And like, I think for me, I think that's when I really kind of stiff armed the sport, so you will, because all I had done was swim. And I think at that point I was like, what else do I need to do? There's nothing else that I need to accomplish. And I just kind of rebelled a little bit and did my own thing. And then, realized that I still wanted it and came back in 16, but like, yeah, in 2012, the 200 fly, if I don't have a shitty first, second, third turn or hit the finish with any amount of momentum, I win the race. If I win that race, I probably don't come back in 16. Right. So it's like, for me, like 2012 was like, I think that Olympics was worse than the 2000 Olympics. And I came back with 6 medals. I hated swimming then. I hated it. I didn't want to do it. I did it because I had to. I was contractually obligated. I had to. If I didn't compete, I lost all my sponsors. So I had to swim. I did the best I could with not doing much work. I mean, I literally trained less than 2 years of that 4 years, from 2008 to 2012.
And you still ended up with 4 golds.
I don't think I was 100% in Beijing.
Yeah, but I want to talk about that. Right?
I broke my wrist 6 months before the Olympic Games in 08.
Before the Beijing.
I spent 3 days out of the water and had surgery 24 to 36 hours afterwards. Right there. There's a scar still. And there's still a pin in there. I have a titanium pin in there. I slipped on a piece
of... But you gave what you had.
I slipped on a piece of ice. My wrist snapped back. And there was I basically looked like a golf ball coming out of my wrist. And I just popped it back in, held it, and had surgery the next day. Yeah. But no, I truly don't think I was...
6 months before the Olympics.
6 months before trials. 6 months before Olympic trials.
And you still ended up winning
8 gold medals.
8. All 8. But
I was probably only at...
But here's what I don't understand.
85%, 90%.
But okay, explain me this, right? 2004, 6 medals. 2008, 8 medals.
Yeah.
Gold. 2012, 4 gold medals. And 2016 again. But you say that only 2016 where you've given 100%.
Yeah.
Before that, London was not 100%.
London definitely wasn't.
Beijing wasn't 100%.
Beijing wasn't.
Athens
04 was. But like 08, I don't think I was fully at 100%. No. I could. That's what I'm saying. Like you asked earlier, like the 200 butterfly. Yeah, I was pissed. Even though I broke the world record and won the gold medal, because I knew I could have gone faster. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I truly, coming off of 2007, that was like arguably probably better than 2008, even though I only won 7. Because I should have won 8, but our morning relay got DQ'd. So disqualified. 2007 was unbelievable. Like that best year of my career. And then broke my wrist 6 months before trials. That recovery was brutal. But we did whatever we could and it ended up working out, but yeah, it could have been better. And I think being better, I say from a times, like a times perspective, a times standard, I think the times that I did there would have been faster had I not broken my wrist, but that was my fault. So whatever.
What was going on in your head in 2016? Because I heard there was a competitor who said Michael Phelps should shut up. And then you were sitting in the ready room.
I don't think he said shut up. I don't remember hearing that. But
like somewhere there was like, he said there was a news about it, right? And then he was shadow boxing in front of you, and you gave him this fell face look.
Yeah,
which is like pretty iconic.
I mean, like for me back then, it was kind of crazy. Like I was on a mission. I didn't care really what anybody said, what anybody did. If anybody got in my way, I was I was going to push you out. Like I was just on an absolute tear. I was feeling the best I had felt in years. And I remember seeing Chad shadow box, and I was just like, what are you doing? Like, I don't ever remember seeing him do that once prior to that point. And it almost looked like it was on purpose. Like it looked like it was on purpose right in front of me. And honestly, for me, it just pissed me off. It pissed me off more than anything else. And I knew there were going to be 2 cameras, one in each corner. And I looked at both of them and I was like, oh shit. Cause I saw the red lights. So if you see the red light on a camera on the bottom, you know that thing's rolling. So I was like, man, they're going to have a field day with the reaction and the facial expressions that I had, because I don't really hide my emotions well, right? Like if I'm pissed off, you're going to see it. If I'm happy, you're going to see it. Like it's just how I am. And yeah, I think the best photo for me coming from those games, or one of the best photos, was him looking like this during the race as I'm a half a body length ahead of him. Yeah. And I end up winning the gold medal, right? So I think that's a lesson within itself. Right? Focus on you and what you're trying to do, not what others are doing. And don't try to intimidate other people, because it's only going to waste your time and your energy. Yeah. That's it. Right? Focus on what you got to do. Period. Cut and dry.
I was watching that video where in the 2016 Rio, you race, and just like the moment you touch the wall, you just come up and you do this.
Oh,
you
yeah.
knew, like,
I knew.
You knew that you won?
Knew. Yeah.
It was 0.01 second, which made you win. Like
it was a close one. That 200 fly, had it been 201 meters, I probably would have lost the race. But yeah, you just know in those moments.
But 0.01 second, how did you know that you won it? Like it was just 100th. It was pure instinct to go that extra half a stroke?
Yeah, like in 2008, when I did take that half stroke, yeah, you had to, because it was all situational. Like, you know, for me in that moment, like I start judging the wall 10 to 15 meters before the end of the race, before I get to the wall. So unfortunately, I didn't judge it very well there. But I hit it at the right spot, right? So I was always taught to hit it with force. You got to hit it with force, because if you kind of baby it, it doesn't stop until you really hit it. So the half stroke that I took won me the race, and the glide stroke that Michael Phelps took lost him the race. If you look at the video, he's going like this. He's finishing like this with his body, his neck, and his hands are completely out of body position. So yeah. 100th of a second.
So you were so focused on yourself, you didn't care about anyone else. But what in your body knew that you won? Because until you look at the board or anything,
yeah, I mean, like
you just came out of the water.
No,
and
dude, the very first thing that I do when I finish is snap, turn, and look at the board.
Okay,
I know where my lane is. I know where my name is. And if I see this, yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, like most, like there are some races where I'll win by a body length or 2 body lengths, and you don't even have to look at the scoreboard. But like some of the races, like, I mean, I think if you add, it's like 6 of my races together, 8 of my races, no, it's probably 6. I think it's 6 or 7 of my races together. The margin of victory, I think 6 or 7 of my Olympic gold medals, the winning margin is less than half a second. So yeah, it's preparation. Yeah, it's being in the moment, the right place at the right time. But I mean, I practiced those finishes that I did in every single one of my races 1,000 times, 2,000 times, 5,000 times, 10,000 times. So when I'm in the race, you don't think, you just be. That is it.
And what goes on in your head when you're on the podium?
Nothing. I'm singing the national anthem. That's it.
No, before even the race has started.
Oh, when I'm on the block?
On the block?
Nothing. Zero.
There's so many people.
I'm not thinking of my start. I'm not thinking of my breakout, my kicks, my streamline. I do my normal stretch, my legs on the block, my arm slap. That's it. I don't think about anything. There's nothing I can change in that moment.
But right before the race, you're not thinking about winning. You're not thinking about beating.
No.
Competing.
I'm like a dog trying to get out of the cage. Just let me out of the cage. Like I'm just, no, I'm like, again, I'm the shark in the water. If I smell the smallest ounce of blood, I'm going to destroy you. And I mean, like you can tell people who are nervous being in the ready rooms too. It's obvious. Like that's why I always have my headset on. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to listen to my beats, listen to my like the lyrics or whoever I'm listening to at that moment, just to put me in the moment, to put me in the zone.
And you would listen to Till I Collapse?
Eminem. I mean, it was everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, Wayne.
Tell me top 3 songs you always listen to. Or you used to
Oh, man.
before you would get out.
It's all Lil Wayne stuff, to be honest. A lot of it was. Let's see. Lil Wayne was there. It was, well, Till I Collapse is Eminem. Lil Wayne was, I guess like a Milli. Like those were big ones back in. Young Jeezy was a big one. I mean, every one of Eminem's albums. Biggie. There wasn't really one song that stuck out. It was kind of like a hodgepodge of songs that were just going through, I don't know, kind of whatever would put me in the mood. And honestly, I think during each competition week, it would really get narrowed to probably just a handful of songs. And I would just repeat. Like I'd get off the bus, restart the song. Walk out to the pool deck, restart the song. And I always try to get it in a certain spot of the song before I took it off. Just to give me one final little oomph, little motivation before I dive.
I mean, here's the last question because I know we're running out of time. It's if somebody listening to this and want to build the same kind of mindset that you have, the same kind of things that you have done in your work, they want to do it in their work. Okay. And they could just pick up 3 specific principles or habits or rituals or mindset from you. What would that be? Let's say we call it the Phelps Protocol. Like, what would that be?
It's so hard to narrow it into 3 different things. I mean, I think one of the things that I really live by is dream, plan, reach, right? Like we all have a dream of something that we're trying to accomplish. And if you don't have a plan that goes along with that dream, then you're going to be lost, right? And then honestly, it's just reaching for it. Look, like, was I afraid to drop all of my other sports and just focus on swimming? Of course. But I also was able to learn that it was the best decision for me, right? Like I found something that I love, I enjoyed, and that I was pretty good at, you know? So I think it's really just keeping it as simple as you possibly can, right? Like what is your goal? And figure out the smallest little details that you need to get there, to reach it, to just have a chance to get there, right? I think that's the biggest thing is people want a chance to do something. But if you're not doing the things that it takes to give yourself a chance, then all it is words, right? It's back to that actions speak louder than words thing. I think it's just what you do, holding yourself accountable for things. But again, it's what can you do right now? It's not yesterday. It's not tomorrow. It's right now. It's trying to simplify every little small detail. Like, again, like I say this 100 times, like my career wasn't rocket science. It was just a lot of small things that were done well over time. And that's it. Like, don't have an excuse. If you didn't want to do it, say you didn't want to do it. Then if you didn't want to do it, then your goals didn't matter, right? If your goals are something that matter to you, you'll never have an excuse, period. Like for me, like you asked me, yeah, there were days where I wanted to hit snooze and not get out of bed, but those goals were important to me. That's what pushed me. It's the same thing now. Like, how can I give my kids the best chance to succeed in this world? What does that look like? I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I'm trying to figure it out, right? Like for me, that's all I think about. It's all my wife and I think about every day is how can we be the best parents to give them the best life to succeed however they want, whether that's in the pool, whether it's in the classroom, I don't care, right? I just want them to be the best version of themselves. So it's what do you do every single day? What are your daily habits and what are your daily routines that prove that you are trying to be successful and you are trying to be great? Because if your habits aren't aligned with those things, then you need to look at yourself in the mirror and figure out what you're doing and who you are, or your goals need to change. I don't know if that answers the question, but it's just like, you know, like I always hear people like, whether it's a weight loss goal or this, that, or the other, like, oh, I really want to do this. And you're like, well, what have you been doing? Nothing. I've been meaning to do this, or I've been meaning to do this. No, just go do it. Right? Like literally just go out and do it. Like I didn't want to go into the gym today. My head just wasn't great this morning, whatever. But I went in and I got done and I was like, whew. Like I feel different, right? Like you feel different when you set your mind to something. Like I got into the gym this morning. I was like, this is going to suck. And I was like, I'm going to put my music on. I'm going to put McAfee on TV. I'm going to stretch. And by the time I stretched, I was excited and I was ready to try to get stronger. 20 minutes, 30 minutes before that, I didn't even want to come into the gym, right? So it's just, it's crazy to me that if you try to, or if you force yourself to do something that you don't want to, when it's uncomfortable, how quick your mind and body comes back around and you're not in that shitty mood or depressed mood or unhappy mood. Like for me, like that's why I work out still every day. Because if I don't, then I'm not giving myself the best chance physically and mentally. Because for me, for 25 years of my life, I swam damn near every day, right? So some form of exercise. So that's what I have to do now. For me to be the best version of me, there's no excuses. I have to get in there for an hour, hour and a half plus, no matter what, no matter how I feel. Tomorrow I'm going to be sore as hell from the weights today. But you know what? If I get through tomorrow, the next day is going to be even better. And then I am going to build muscle and I am going to get stronger, right? It's that process of it. It's the process of things that I think people don't like or skip or give up after they're a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks into it. Trust it. It takes 30 days to create a habit. It takes 30 days to get rid of a habit. For me, throughout my career, I would do different habits. So when I'm in the pool, I would learn and create different habits for strokes or repetitions or streamline or kickouts or this, that, and the other. So naturally, after a 30-day period, it becomes second nature. You don't have to think about it. It's a part of who you are, right? So it's, I don't know. I guess the easiest way to say things is simplify it, right? Like break your goals down in the smallest terms, smallest things, and take a little bite out of each part. If you try to conquer everything at once, you're just going to fail and spin, and it won't be good.
But what now? Doesn't it feel empty because there's nothing to look forward to? What are you looking forward to now?
For me, everything I'm trying to do in the mental health space, suicide, the second leading cause for people 10 to 34, like that's frightening. For me as somebody who has thought about suicide multiple times.
What got you out of it?
What's that?
What
brought me out of it? Just being able to learn more about who I am and being okay and understanding that it's okay to share and talk about the things and the feelings that I experience, where in the past, all I would do is compartmentalize and shove them down. But I think over the last 10 years, I've learned that it's okay not to be okay, right? Like it's okay to have a hard day, but what did I learn from it? How can I try to be better? How can I try to not have it affect the whole entire day? Who can I talk to? Who can I go see? What can I learn more? Right? Like for me, like I just want to ask questions. And I know there are so many people in the world that are probably suffering from similar things that I do, whether it's depression or anxiety. And for me, I want them to get the help and care that they need and deserve. For me, being able to see a therapist or having the chance to see my first therapist, it saved my life. And who knew that just talking about things would make you happy and make you freer and just be your normal self. So yeah, for me, it's, chapter one of my swimming career. Yeah, it was incredible. And it was something I always dreamt of. But for me, I think the next chapter of mental health and trying to destigmatize it still, or get people the help and care they need and deserve, or trying to learn more about it. I just think it's so unknown, to so many people. I guess for me, it's trying to help people become vulnerable, because vulnerability is a scary word, right? But if you allow yourself to become vulnerable, then you allow yourself to grow. and you allow yourself to change. And sometimes change isn't always bad. Right. So, I could talk for hours about it, but like for me, the mental health journey and what I'm trying to do on that front. It's there's no timetable, right? Like it's just going to be a never ending thing, and something I look forward to. For me, again, being able to save a life is way bigger than ever winning an Olympic gold medal.
I heard the president of this country say something like, depression isn't a thing. Get busy working so hard that depression doesn't even affect you. And in your case, you were working so hard and still it hit you. Do you buy what he was saying?
Depression is something. It is a thing because
do you think it won't affect people if they're like just busy working day in and day out?
I think for me, I can speak from my personal experience. When I did that, I just ended up stacking a bunch of stuff on top of each other and compartmentalized it inside of me. And then I just erupt like I'm like a volcano. So for me, like when I go through depression, it feels like the room is shrinking on top of me. And I do feel all alone. And it doesn't matter if I go work out or if I go and do my everyday errands, I still feel like shit. And I still feel really dark, and the thoughts that I have aren't good. But I think for me, it's when I do have those moments, I'm lucky that I have the tools that I have to help me get out of them. And that is whether it's going to talk to my therapist, whether it's calling my therapist, whether it's calling my men's group that I'm a part of, whether it's calling a friend, whether it's talking to my wife, whether it's journaling, whatever it is, there are things that I have, whether it's getting in a cold tub, whether it's sitting in an infrared sauna. There are so many different things for me as a self-care checklist that if I'm not doing those every day, then I'm not being the best me. I guess I agree to disagree with this comment then, because I think if you have your routines and you stick with your routines, then you're going to be the best version of you and you'll learn more about yourself. But if you do compartmentalize and shove the things down, they're only going to come back stronger and harder. I wouldn't ignore depression spells. I wouldn't ignore anxiety. Those two are things that I can talk about because I struggle with them. I get anxiety when I have to go and speak in front of 2,000 people, right? Like, but it's a part of me. Like that's so you'll see me, like I'll spin my ring, or I have crystals that I'll take and I'll just kind of ground myself. They're just things that I've learned that work for me. And I mean, my depression and anxiety are never just going to leave me. I can't snap my fingers and have them disappear at will. I can't. It's not possible, right? They're a part of who I am. I don't want to say I'm thankful for it, but they challenge me. They challenge me to learn more about me and how I work. And I guess I'm thankful for it. It sucks sometimes, and it's really hard going through the roller coasters of emotions that I go through. But again, that's what makes me who I am. And I enjoy looking at myself in the mirror, this white beard and this man bun. I don't see what I used to see. And I used to see somebody with a pair of goggles and a swim cap on, not somebody with feelings and emotions. So the journey that I'm on now is a pretty cool one. It's a pretty fun one. You get some bumps along the way, but it's a part of life.
Thank you so much.
For sure.
I'm thankful for this conversation.
For sure. Thank you.
Thank you for coming here. Thank you for spending time. Thank you for taking us through your mindset.
For sure.
It was really an honor to talk to someone like you. In the middle of the conversation, you said somewhere, every time you go ask the GOAT of anything, they're going to say this. And in my head, I'm like, well, I'm asking the GOAT.
But it's true. Like, honestly, like I've gotten to know a bunch of them and like a bunch of the real GOATs and like legendary athletes. And, our mindset and how we go about our everyday routine or schedule or job is pretty similar. It's again, that's why I always say it's not rocket science. It's really not. It's a mindset and it's making a choice, right?
If you had to give a name to your mindset, what would it be?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm bad at that.
Think about it.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's just, but like when you say something like that, I I don't know if I can take credit for all of my stuff, right? Because, you know, what we were talking about, knowing your competitors, I've been able to borrow what I've learned, you know, from whether it's other athletes or mentors or just people that I've come in contact with, and I've been able to put it into my terms and my way and understand it that way, right? So I think it's, you know, I used to hate talking to people. I used to hate talking in general, but I enjoy having like really fun conversations with people. And you know, for me, I'm still looking for, you know, different ways that I can change my routine to better myself, right? From any conversation that I have, right? Whether it's a retired basketball player, football player, baseball player, politician, it doesn't matter, right? Like for me, I'm always trying to learn, and I'm always trying to be better, right? So, you know, and in that process, yeah, I'm going to be my authentic self, but yeah, whatever we learn, I think, from everybody and you know, the people listening here, like, you know, I wouldn't say do it exactly my way, but you know, the things that we talked about today, if there's something that fits in a spot in your life or fits in your mindset or fits here, like I do it, because, right, like that's what we're all here to do. We're here to help each other, right? And try to help each other be great, right? Like I couldn't have done this by myself. Yeah, like I swam my ass off in the pool for 20 years, but like it wasn't all me, right? So I think the more that we can work together, the more that we can accomplish.
Thank you. Thank you so much. How are you?
Good. I just got done a workout, so sorry I'm late.
It's all right. It's all right.
I just got out of a workout and now we're good to go.
All good. Is you? Oops. It's all right. It's all right. I don't know. It's very American thing to get ice with water. In India, they don't give you water with ice, even though we are a much hotter country than you are. Thank you so much for watching this podcast till the end. Please let us know in the comments what all did we do right so that we can improve and keep doing that better, and what all did we do wrong so that we never repeat it. And at the same time, please give us suggestions of who's the next guest that you want to see on the podcast. And don't forget to share this episode with at least one person who will get some insights, because one conversation is enough to give people enough ideas to change their lives. I'll see you next time. Until then, keep figuring out. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.